What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of the Undergrad Forum. Now in this video, I got guest Cyrus the doctor here, and today we're going to talk about, is it worth getting a dual degree with your MD? And in particular, we're going to focus on the MBA, since both of us did the MD/MBA at our home institution. So for us, it was kind of easier because at our institution, the MD and the MBA are a track program. You don't have to leave medical school, go get an MBA somewhere and come back. The way it's done at our school, during your second year of medical school, you apply for the MBA program as a MD student, and if accepted, you will then complete your third year of medical school, and once third year is completed, you'll go off to business school for a year, come back, then do your fourth year, wrap up fourth year in about half a year, because that's how long a fourth year really is, honestly. And then you go back and rack up the last part of MBA. So it adds one full year, makes med school 5 years, but you get an MBA along with your MD. So for us, I would say there was a low barrier to entry because there was a streamlined process already in play. I know students from other schools who come to our MBA program, and they physically take a full year off from their MD, come do a full 2-year MBA, and then go back. And so it's 6 years for them and not so streamlined and condensed with units and everything else. So the questions we're going to talk about today is, I get a lot of messages from people, hey, why'd you do the MBA? Should I do an MBA? All this kind of stuff. And today let's try to conquer those two questions. And you can get two different viewpoints and see what we think. So when did you decide you wanted the MBA?
For me, it was more, I would say before medical school. I was looking at programs that had, the track combined MD/MBA programs. It wasn't entirely what I was looking at, but it was just an added plus because it was something that I was thinking about ever since, before coming to medical school. It's nice to have that option, I would
Absolutely.
say. And yeah, that's why, it wasn't entirely the reason why I chose where I chose to go, but it was nice to have it in the back pocket. For me, the MBA has been a great experience. It's a different lifestyle, a different pace from medical school. Medical school, you're always in your individual cubicle, studying as much as you can to learn everything for yourself, and in the MBA setting, you're learning to work with others, you're learning to talk with others, you're learning to communicate with others, and you're learning in a group setting, more so than by yourself. So a
team-based approach.
Yeah, the team-based approach, which I think is very applicable to the medical world, especially at teaching institutions where you do your residency and you do your third and fourth year medical school, because everything is learned on a team-based approach. Everything patients are taken care of on a team-based approach. You're working with your intern, your junior resident, your senior resident, you're attending, and you're learning in that environment. And a lot of the elements of the MBA teaching apply to that type of learning in medical school. And in the first 2 years, that's when I say you're the individual person. But in your third and fourth year, you're working with others. You're learning from your patients. You're learning from your seniors. You're learning from your interns. You're learning from your attending. So it brings up a different style of learning. So during my third year, I wish I would have had the experience of going to my MBA, getting my MBA background, because during my fourth year, I felt like I was just more comfortable working with others, learning in that type of environment. So.
I think that really highlights an important point. A lot of people look at the MBA and think, okay, what do you learn from in the classes? And we'll get to that. But here, what Cyrus is really highlighting is, what type of true take-home strategies and applications do you learn? And a very big one is how to work in a team And given that MBA is Masters of Business Administration, how to lead a team, how to be a very strong member, how to help a team move forward and work more efficiently. And these are all things you'll do in your business job world, but that's very present in medicine. And in particular, if you're going to be a physician or someone who's leading a team, you need to know how to motivate a team, how to get a team to do what you want, how to have efficiency. And all of these things that go into the present day practice of team-based medicine, the MBA teaches you. And I would even argue it teaches it both to you holistically, but even in some courses, you'll take organization, human behavior, critical thinking. Like a lot of classes are geared towards helping you understand how people think, understand how people work, and how to use that knowledge base to get the kind of work you want done in a very efficient way that benefits everyone. So that's a very key part of MBA that people, I think, just love and benefit from. What about the actual coursework? Like, you're going to class every day, you're doing MBA stuff. What did you like in those coursework classes?
So you highlighted some of the things. Like some of the courses, quite frankly, I'm probably never going to have to use. Like I have a lot of, we took a lot of financial accounting, managerial accounning, numbers-based courses, which, I mean, it's fun doing. I'm a math guy. Mo, I don't know if he likes math as much as me, but I enjoyed those courses. But it didn't really apply to what I was seeking, which is overall to get into residency, to become a practicing, competent surgeon. But there's other courses that were very meaningful. Mo hinted at one, like organizational behavior, learning to work with others, learning to talk with others, learning to get stuff done in a team setting, negotiations.
I forgot that one.
Learning to work with other people, learning to defend your position, learning to get stuff from other people in order to get stuff done again. But then there's a lot of you can kind of tailor your MBA experience and education into what you want to learn about. So for me, like I'm not as interested in like real estate or accounting, even though I've had some courses in them. I tried to take more of the electives where I learned about medicine, where our school offered courses in healthcare policy, the business side of medicine type of thing. So which is what I want to ultimately work, the world I'm ultimately going to be working in. So that was helpful for me to experience.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, the MBA kind of is like college. There are general requirements that everyone has to take. So we get a good dosing of finance and real estate and accounting and statistics and other core classes like in college. But then just like in college, you get electives and you can move your degree to what you want. And ours was in more healthcare oriented MBA. Other people going into accounting took much more of that, or finance. So the nice thing about an MBA, just like a college degree, it's not narrow, it's really quite broad. Even though it is an MBA, you can focus it into whatever specialty you like. So really the coursework in the MBA is beneficial. I would say what we highlight more than the coursework is the application and the behaviors and how to conduct with people and how to think and how to negotiate. Those kind of more global meta principles are what I took out of the MBA, honestly, more. And Cyrus really said it well. He's like, in the third year, that was before my MBA, I wish I would have had the MBA experience, because when I came in as a fourth year, not only are you older, but now you've had a year of MBA under your belt, and you learn how to talk with teams, how to see seniority. Now you understand the framework of working in a complex system, whereas a third year pure medical student, we really had no clue. I too wish I would have had that MBA experience going into third year. So overall, I would say, getting an MBA, though early, the argument could be held against you that, part of the MBA is expanding your social network and your weak and strong ties, so you should wait until you're older. But I would also argue there are probably benefits to doing it in these combined programs early, because you go into your career learning a knowledge base that may help you earlier on. And I'm sure you can network throughout your whole career again. So there's pros and cons to doing it early or late, and I would say it's probably up to them what they want. See, what other comments should we make about the MBA? I think that kind of covers it, the academic and the kind of non-classroom benefits.
I would just say that also, since it's definitely a different pace from medical school. Medical school is you just are constantly studying. MBA, it's a little more relaxed, a little bit more personal time because you have to work in that group setting with your group, so you have a lot more free time. So it's also an opportunity to continue any research projects you're working on, initiate any projects that you wanted to start during medical school, but you didn't have quite as much time because you have a little bit more free time during your business schooling, so you get to go to the beach and read books if you'd like to do that too.
I mean, like during our MBA, we participated in a business plan competition. That was something we highlighted in our residency applications. That's something different, it's unique, and something that we took very seriously. I mean, we had a very good outcome in the competition, but we also learned a lot in the process of how to help a startup get into the real business world, something that anyone could really do. We participated in some app competitions. So really during that year, we both did research. So it's a year of course, you're getting your MBA, but you can also continue doing other things as you want. So just like anything, when you take time off from a dedicated program, you need to be productive because people are going to ask you, what did you do in your time off? And though the beach and reading books is nice, that can't be all that you do. You got to be productive and have a common sense balance with work and play. I guess another point to mention would be that the MBA is a differentiating factor, or any dual degree, when it comes to residency. You're going to have something that someone else doesn't. I remember in one of my interviews, the program director told me, the MBA, one nice thing about it is you've just showed me you're willing to work extra hard and get something that your fellow peers don't have, that they don't want maybe or haven't seen to get. So it can't hurt you, and if anything, it's probably a positive differentiating factor when it comes to the residency application. Yeah,
I would say on all my interviews I got, that was always something that came up. Why the MBA? It's interesting that you got this MBA. Can you tell me more about it? So a lot of people are interested in it. It's a nice differentiating factor. It's not like the whole all your clothing,
no.
but it's a nice complementing hat to your suit, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point, because a lot of people ask me, are you going to go into hospital administration? And I was like, no, I want to be like a hardcore clinical neurologist. Like, what are you talking about? And I think that's one beauty. Is a lot of people, maybe that's why you're watching this video, don't know why you want to get an MBA with your MD. I mean, we're both super young. Like, we're not saying we know why to get an MD with an MBA. We're just telling you why we did it, and it's our opinion. It was there and we wanted to do it. And maybe we'll get things out of it we can't even see right now. But if you're watching this, don't just think you're stuck in hospital administration like some people may think. You could do anything. You could just become a strong clinical physician with certain skills to be a more efficient team. That's it, Or you could do startups or going to the consulting world, or really anything you want to do with the MBA is just added skills. It's
added versatility.
Yeah, you're not pigeonholed into anything just by having more degrees or more of a knowledge base. I mean, it's always divergent thinking with the MBA. I mean, I would really say, like you said, everyone talked to you at the MBA. When it comes to what Cyrus said, in one of his former videos, he mentioned that you want to be somehow memorable on your interview day for residency, and everyone kind of gets blurred because we all have so many common characteristics. I mean, I'm pretty sure, every interview, we talked about my MBA and we talked about my YouTube channel, and I was probably tagged as, that's the YouTube guy with an MBA who's applying to neuro, and you were probably the guy who had medical education and an MBA who's doing surgery. We all get tagged by something, whatever it was.
Also the YouTube guy. I'm on a YouTube channel.
Yeah, but you're not that big on YouTube. No. But really, I mean, the MBA really in that sense, it's an added benefit. People will ask about it, and it's just more tools, more ways of thinking. It can only benefit you. But that doesn't mean it's for everyone. I don't want to say who shouldn't get an MBA, but maybe I should sum it up like this. If you're hesitant, that's fine. I would say maybe both of us were. You're doing something different than the traditional 4-year MD degree. But if you really can't see yourself wanting to go to business school, or you really don't have an appeal, that's all I could think as to why not to do it. Otherwise, if you have a genuine interest and think in some way you can benefit from it, it's probably something to consider seriously.
Yeah, you don't have to do a Master's of Business Administration. There's other, the MPH.
MPH, JD, PhD.
Yeah, so there's
so many degrees.
Alternative methods of.
Or pure MD.
Yeah, or pure MD. So there's
normal.
alternative methods of expanding your own personal background, personal knowledge, but it's just something that you should have a plan in mind, and just have the energy to pursue.
Can't agree more. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video discussing getting an MBA with your MD. If you have any questions, drop them down below in the comment section. You can also post your questions on our Facebook group and our Twitter, and the community as a whole can help answer questions. And as always guys, enjoy your studies.